What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. This is Az. I'm Mitch, because Mitch does coffee and other things.
Yep.
Garage things. If you know, you know. Today we're gonna roast coffee using the little Cafe Logic, but this is a special coffee. And if you've seen the thumbnail, you know what I'm talking about. So a little while ago, I saw a statement. If you haven't seen it, it's from the president of the Panama Coffee Association, I'm pretty sure it was. Something along the lines of co-fermented coffees are cheating in competition. Now, I wouldn't call it cheating myself, but you know, it's not really about what I think. But if you're cheating and you're still not winning, does it matter?
I don't know.
No, I don't think it does.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, my channel and my cafe was always about what tastes good. I don't care how we got there.
Best of the best.
So I can understand the problem with having coffees that are much cheaper, being able to have the same result as an expensive coffee.
Isn't that what you want though?
Well, not when the farms aren't getting paid enough. Okay, so that's a whole conversation for another time. What this video is going to be all about is, can we make a passion fruit infused coffee taste good?
Sounds good.
Yeah. So look, we've had this coffee before.
Yeah.
We haven't roasted it ourselves, and I figured we may as well do it ourselves this way.
See if we can improve, maybe.
Well, improve or remove some of the f***ery.
Yeah, okay.
We can beep that out, don't worry.
Bip. You can't say f***.
Yeah. Well, you can.
Oh. Have to beep that out too.
Apparently. So this is the Jairo Arcila. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, I'm sorry.
Giro.
Anyway, I've had a lot of his... Did you just say Jizzo?
Maybe.
I've had a lot of his coffees, and the passion fruit one was definitely up there as my favourite.
Yeah.
The strawberry one, undrinkable in my opinion. Not good.
The passion fruit, I still remember.
It's good coffee.
Yeah.
So we're going to roast it ourselves with the little Cafe Logic.
Stupid coffee.
The roasting has begun. And we're going to see how good we can make it ourselves. This is a great little roaster. We use this at the roastery that I work at quite often for our cupping. So we are going to roast 100 grams at a time. That's what this is designed for. A whole lot of different settings. We are going to set the altitude, if you are using a Cafe Logic and you know what I'm talking about, just set it at the maximum of 1,500 meters above sea level, as that's where this coffee is from. So 1,450 to 1,500 meters above. We're just going to leave the roaster there. We're not going to muck around with that because I don't think we need to. It's not going to achieve a positive result that I could imagine.
Is that like a set profile? Yeah,
so there's a lot of different variables in this. It kind of has different rate of rise and ramping of temperatures and stuff. So we're just not going to go there. This isn't about the Cafe Logic, so I don't really want to go down that road, if that makes sense.
More about us roasting and seeing if we can get those flavours right.
Exactly. Yeah. Let's see what we can do and then see if they're enjoyable. Because at the end of the day, like I said, I think that's all that matters.
Yeah. It's about what ends up in the cup.
Now, with this roaster, we can do all different types of roast. We can go super light, super dark. We will not go super dark.
Why?
Well, this kind of coffee is probably not going to taste very good there. It's definitely not designed to be a darker roast coffee. It is definitely designed to be a lighter roast, filter coffees. Not to say you can't drink it as an espresso. We're probably going to find out. Because we can do everywhere from kind of a really light all the way up to a not like medium, just below a medium, like a medium light sort of roast. Going any further than that, I don't think it's going to taste very good.
Might ruin the flavours possibly.
It's a waste of a good green bean. So I'd rather not bother. We can experiment and try it, but it's...
Because if it's no good, we'll have to flick the bean.
All right, so let's pop some coffee onto the scale to make sure we've got the right amount. Pop it into the roaster, and then let's see what we can do, starting light, and then we're going to work our way up. Let's go.
Let's go.
All right, so we've loaded in 100 grams of coffee. We've got it at the 1,500 meters. and this is on the ready to drink profile. So you can do a rest or a ready to drink. We are going to do ready to drink because we do want to drink this coffee as soon as possible.
Yep.
The difference between those two settings on this grinder, I know this isn't on this roaster. I know it's not about this roaster, but it is an important thing to keep in mind is that this coffee is going to change in a few days, whether you do ready to drink or rest. So this is just going to be a good guideline.
That's the degassing.
Yeah, so the moment you
Process,
roast coffee, and the darker it is, the quicker that happens,
Yep.
as the coffee is more porous.
Okay.
So you can drink really dark coffee a lot sooner than really light coffee. Not to say a coffee can't be good the day after, even if it's light. It's just rule of thumb,
Yeah.
if that makes sense. So we are going to do this one, so 1,500 meters ready to drink. And
The altitude.
Yep. And then we're going to go down to 1.0, which is light. We can go lighter than that on this roaster, but I don't think it's going to work too well.
That's changing the weight of the coffee.
No, so how dark roast we're going to go. So we want to start light. We can go right down to a very light, but being a Colombian coffee, it's probably not going to react very well.
Okay.
That's more of like Panama geishas and things like that I think would work better. Not to say it can't be, again, this is just rule of thumb stuff,
Yeah.
and I don't want to waste too much coffee. So let's start at 1.0, light roast, 100 grams in, see how it goes.
There it goes. So this will be drinkable,
I mean, we'll find out.
possibly. Okay. And we'll adjust from there.
Exactly right.
Okay.
Cool,
Right.
let's
Cool.
do that.
A few moments later.
Until the sun comes up.
All right, so the first roast is done, and it looks good, smelt really good.
Smelled awesome.
Smelled really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely get that sort of popcorn.
and passion fruit.
Yeah, awesome,
Oh,
hey.
Yeah.
Cool. And we got a total of 87 grams out.
We put like 100 in though.
We put exactly 100 in,
What's
so there's a 13% moisture loss,
Okay.
which is a good thing.
Yep.
So that's where you kind of want it to be. That's a conversation for another time. I'm sure people can tell me I'm wrong in the comments.
yeah?
But that's correct. That's what I expected.
Yep.
I expected anywhere up to 15%. So 13 is good. We're looking at a good coffee there. Now it's time to do one which is still considered a medium light, which will be on the 2.0 setting, and then we'll do a medium, which is 3.0.
So that'll give us a lot darker.
Well, it's going to get
Coloured
slightly
bean or
darker.
something.
You might not see the difference too much, but you'll definitely taste the difference.
Yep.
When we're talking on this machine, you can do increments of 0.1
Okay.
between what we're doing as well. We're not going to fine tune it that
Is
much.
that like different shades?
Essentially, different, 50 shades of roasting. Yeah.
Nice.
So we'll do the 2.0, then we'll do the 3.0.
Yep.
We'll have a look at them all together, and we'll see if we can taste some.
Okay. They'll be ready today.
We can drink
maybe.
them, whether they're perfect or not is probably going to be arguable.
Okay.
But we'll be able to taste a difference.
Yep.
And then being realistic, in a few days the difference will be either closer or further apart.
Yeah.
So they could become better, they could become worse,
Yep.
they could become more astringent. There's a whole lot of things that can happen. But at least we'll get a gauge of things today.
Okay.
Cool.
That sounds good.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Until the sun comes up.
Okay, so we've roasted all three of our coffees. We've got 1.0, 2.0, 3.0. And now I know on camera it's really hard to see the difference, but there is a very slight difference between them. Very, very slight. Down at the 1.0, I can definitely tell that there's some beans in there that I wouldn't consider drinkable.
Okay.
Kind of what I expected. They're just very underdeveloped. You can see the colour's not great. 2 looks okay. I think we could drink it, but 3 I think is actually where it needs to be.
This one actually.
Yep.
Like it's a darker, more consistent.
Super consistent, which is, I'm honestly surprised. I thought we would have had to have gone lighter.
Okay.
Obviously, drinking it's going to be a different story, or could be a different story.
So we can't quite tell flavour-wise just by colour or scent.
Not necessarily. I've had some coffees that looked really bad that tasted amazing. They looked super light, almost green, and they were still really nice.
Okay.
So every bean's going to be different. This experiment's null and void unless you're using the exact beans. We can drink the coffees. Obviously, you guys can't drink this coffee, but this is a coffee that is fairly accessible.
Yeah.
This is not a rare coffee by the saying, as in it's not something you can't get at a lot of places. Like a lot of places have had it, especially in Sydney.
So could we buy this at home?
I'm sure there's places you can get it from.
Something similar at least.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So there's been plenty of this stuff around. Jairo sells his coffees to absolutely anyone. Look, I can put the link to the CoffeeNet site where you can buy this yourself. I think it was $1,200 for 24 kilos green.
Okay.
If you really want to, links
Then you've
down
got to
there.
get a roaster and
Yeah, exactly
someone
right.
professional.
Hardly. So now we're going to do a bit of a cupping, and if you have misophonia, unlucky.
Yeah.
So I'm going to start down here. Sommelier. What's your first thoughts on that?
Not a fan.
Undrinkable.
Way too bitter or something. Yeah.
Yeah. So that is the lightest one. So the lighter the coffee is, typically, hold your comments, the longer it will take for it to degas.
Okay.
So pulling a dark roasted coffee straight out of the roaster and drinking it is more acceptable than a light coffee.
Yeah.
From my experience, from my testing, from coffees that I've drank. Some people do it with light coffees. Those people are made in a special place. So you got to remember, this is a different coffee. It's a funky coffee to start with that kind of winey process.
Yeah.
Well, what used to be called a winey process, now it's called a natural anaerobic, co-infused, etc.
Couldn't say that about the wife though.
No?
No, she's definitely whining.
So I don't like that.
No, me
The
either.
light, not good.
No.
The light to medium,
Second roast.
delish.
It's pretty good.
Delish.
Yeah.
That is a beautiful coffee. That would make an incredible pour over and an acceptable espresso, in my opinion. Give it time and it'll probably get better.
Okay.
I think that's going to be the correct way to roast this.
So this one would have like a broader range of what it could be used for.
An Omni. So, yes. So an Omni roast is kind of designed to fit all purpose. I'm going to give you a little bit of data for roast times on these coffees in case you're interested. So roast number 1, 214.9 degrees Celsius drop temperature. So that's when we finished roasting, and it was 8 minutes 52.
Quite quick.
Yeah, well, it's only 100 grams as well. So if we were doing 30 or 60 kilos, that's going to be more like 14 minutes,
Okay.
I would say.
Yep.
Don't hold me to that. I'll check. I'll find out. The roast number 2, so 217.6 degrees Celsius, and it took 9 minutes 19. And then roast number 3, 221 degrees Celsius, and it took 10 minutes and 12 seconds. So almost a whole minute extra.
Yeah.
The crazy thing is, these are more similar in flavour than these two, and it's only 3 degrees difference.
But there's not a time was more the factor, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was
Rather than temperature.
almost a minute difference, and they are actually really similar. So what that's telling me is at that time, it didn't have enough time to develop flavours.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I think that's where we've landed. The interesting thing is, both of these had a 13% reduction in weight, so you had 13% moisture loss. This one actually had a 14% moisture loss. Being almost a minute extra, I do expect that.
You've got to expect a bit of that.
But for them to taste almost the same at this point, I dare say over the next coming days they're going to change.
Yep.
And this one will remain a more palatable coffee.
Okay.
This one I think might become a little bit over the top. Do you remember Sidra?
Sidra was pretty good.
It was good, but you couldn't drink it every day.
No.
I could drink that every day.
This one's like an everyday one, whereas this is more
Can't drink it every day.
when you're like special.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. So it's amazing and it's going to blow your mind and it's going to wow people, but you're not going to order it again.
Yeah.
Pull as a spro, on the money. Filter, on the money.
Yeah.
In the bin.
In the bin.
So I will be roasting more of this in bigger batches at the roastery that I work at. So over at Baker Street,
Street
they
Roastery.
actually own that little Cafe Logic roaster. That thing's mad, and we use it a lot there. So thank you, boss, for letting me take that.
He's pretty good, isn't he?
He's awesome. He's actually in Vietnam at the moment, doing the same thing.
Yeah. The same beans?
No, because he's in Vietnam.
Ah. But no, special thanks to...
Yeah, huge thanks to Gareth.
Gareth,
Amazing.
champion.
Second thank you is to Tim.
Tim
From
from Blue Mountains Coffee Roasters.
Blue Mountain. So he actually supplied us with this green bean on the proviso that we give him the data.
The recipe.
So we're going to do a little bit more data for him in secret, stuff that you guys don't need to see.
That's all on the
Couple of little secrets of the trade. And thank you to Az for coming along and being a part of this.
Thanks.
And the hookup. So make sure you check out Az's YouTube as well. He's probably going to be posting very much a similar video to this one.
Yeah.
He's just trying to build his channel, trying to give him a bit of a boost. So go and check his channel out. There is a link below. Go and
It's not
subscribe.
completely terrible.
No, I was dog shit when I first started YouTube.
It's more like cat shit.
You've got good audio. You've got a good camera.
We're working on that.
Well, you know what I mean. Where I started with an old mobile phone.
And a GoPro 5 even.
Was before that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, exactly. So he's having a crack. Go and support him.
Please do.
Tell him to dig out the RX-7. You don't care about that, but I do.
You should.
Yeah, it's mad.
Yeah.
But that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Click subscribe, and if you like, go and check out Does Garage. If you're
100%.
interested in motorbikes and other things,
Yeah, all sorts of cool
the new
stuff.
second channel.
Yeah.
Mad.
I think it should be. Maybe work towards the first channel.
That's where I'm going with it.
Yeah.
This channel sucks. Thanks, dude.
My pleasure, man.